Marianne, even when you make mistakes. That's right. I get a lot of mileage out of that, don't I? Yes, ma'am, I do. All right. Okay. Okay, this is the whole purpose of this, because I want to help you feel good about money. I want to help you feel good about money. That may seem like kind of hedonistic, or maybe that sounds selfish, but I think we got to be a little selfish here in order for us to be the givers and the movers and the shakers that we're here to be. So I was not feeling really good about money for a while. And all of you know a lot about that story already, so I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. But I want you to know this. Some of you don't know this. And that is, I started off in my adult life wanting to make a lot of money. Why? Because my parents fought all the time about money. They fought all the time about money, and they got divorced. And when they got divorced, it was like so much stress about money that I decided that regardless of their past and their history, I was going to be a person that made money. And so I got my college degree. I became a teacher, an elementary teacher, taught first and fourth grade for many years. But as you know, teachers don't make a ton of money, and I wanted to make more money. Sometimes I worked 3 jobs so I could make more money. Not many people were that motivated, but there was so much pain and stress around money in my family. Like I said, I needed to find out how this wasn't going to happen to me. Well, then I became a lawyer, and you know, lawyers can make a lot of money. My brother is a lawyer. He owns his own firm, and my brother is a multi-millionaire. So he makes a lot of money. There are other lawyers that are eking by. They're like working with blood, sweat, and tears trying to get one case after another. And I know lawyers in all spectrums. So you can have the same kind of profession, and you can have a huge variety of what kind of money you make. And this right now, you're in this course because you want to learn more about money, because you're not afraid anymore to talk about money. That's what I want us to not be afraid to talk about money, not be afraid to put emphasis on money right now.
Hi.
Somebody talking to me? Okay. So my history is, and then after I was a prosecuting attorney, I went and I became a financial planner. Then they put me in corporate, and I was head of a big financial planning program in Newport Beach, California. So I've had a lot of experience around money, teaching people about, you know, money principles, investment principles, financial planning principles. And with all that knowledge and being all around all those people, you would think that the people who are making all this money would have less stress and more happiness. But they didn't. They didn't. In fact, in the company that I work with, there was so much fear about money that they decided to do a takeover and steal the book of business from the main office and go and set up their own office. You say that's what lack mentality and fear about money can do. And this is part of the reason why some of us don't have good feelings about money. Because you see what happens when people are feeling lack. They get into greed. They get into so much stress. They get into violence even. So if people can feel good about themselves, about money, and I want to say even God, because I believe God is in charge of all the abundance and has made it all available to us, that we are going to raise the vibration of the whole world when we raise our vibration about money. Agreed? Everybody agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. So some of this is not news to any of you. I think everybody here has probably taken a million courses or read a million books or done a million things to improve their attitudes, perspectives, and beliefs about money. I don't think this is your first go around here, you know, just like this is not mine. And so like I said, I did all this work around money, and even people who know a lot about money are not free of stress, okay? So last year in my business, I went through a lot to start from scratch. in my business as a coach and a speaker, I started at scratch, bottom level, no list, no following, no real business. You know, everything I did was for free before that. So I had to start from scratch. Well, I had a lot of mental issues and heart problems regarding making money, about charging for my services, about asking people, about promoting myself. You know, was I being greedy? Was I being proud and arrogant and promoting myself? I mean, the anguish I went through and what I had to get over was pretty significant. So I did a lot of that. In 2015, it was almost like everything was flowing on so well. And then 2016, when Gene had his all the health challenges and required a lot from me and a lot of me, in addition to keeping the business going, I hit a whole different wall of fear. And I think that what's happened, we can go along and we're chugging, we're doing pretty good. And we've cleared out, you know, a certain amount of money blocks, you know, we've released certain resistance to money, but then something happens, an event happens. Maybe it's something in the economy, maybe it's something in a relationship, maybe it's something in health. But there's a catalyst that comes along and that kind of causes you to re-examine everything. Almost makes you feel like you know nothing, that all the work you've ever done before on self-growth is like, it's not even, it doesn't even matter. Okay, somebody's got background noise. If you don't mind just shutting, muting for us, please, that would be great. Okay. All right, hang on a second. Let's do something else here. All right. Okay, so hitting the wall that I did last year, and all of you have heard about the wall I hit, the wall of fear. How am I going to make money? And transparently, I'm telling you, I had $600 available to me, and that was it. We had gone through savings. We had gone through, I had no prospects on the horizon. I could not see how I was going to pay the next month's bills and all the expenses, because the expenses are quite large. $600 was not going to do it, and I didn't see where it was going to go. So that's why I needed a total overhaul, or just a tweak even. And so I went to bed that night, angry and hostile, and I woke up in the morning at 4 a.m. to hear God saying to me, "Marianne, get back to love." So this is why, this is all about love, to tell you the truth. You think this is about money, but it's really about love. Because loving yourself, loving abundance, loving the work you do, loving the people around you, loving your life is really the invitation to more abundance coming into your life. All right? It's an invitation. So that is why I want to help you feel good about money consistently, regardless of what's going on in your circumstances or in the economy. Everybody up for that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So there were 3 components actually that I have narrowed this down to, that actually were going to determine whether or not we have abundance coming in or we have lack coming in. All right. And actually, we probably have more abundance than you think and less lack than you think. That's our focus. And those are the beliefs which determine your focus, and focus creates the energy. And then the energy goes into your actions and results, which actually, hang on a second, I just got to check something here. There is, there's some noise coming in the background. All right. Thank you. All right, so we are not going to tackle all of this right now. I just wanted to give you the overview, but we're going to be talking about beliefs, we're going to be talking about focus, and we're going to be talking about energy, because all of that, everything is energy. Our beliefs create energy, our focus create energy, and the energy is what either invites and draws abundance to us, or it repels abundance from us. All right? We'll talk more about that, but I want to give you just an overview today. Next, I am going to together, this is what we're going to do together. I'm going to help you today jumpstart you back to love and out of fear. There's only love and there's only fear. That's all. Just love and fear. And our emotions are either based on love or they're based on fear. Our thoughts are either based on love or they're based on fear. So we're going to talk more about that, but by the end of the day, I want to do some exercises with you that are going to help you to jump back to love and out of fear, okay? And then we're going to stay at that place, keep coming back to that place throughout the 4 weeks. We're going to begin today tracking your abundance. Now, you may have already started it last month in the class in the free program I have, but if you haven't done it, or even if you have, today is May 1st. We're going to go for 30 days tracking your abundance, and let's see what happens. Just treat it like an experiment, all right? Grand adventure. Let's see what happens. And we'll talk more about that at the end of this call. We're going to identify disempowering money beliefs. There are a lot of money beliefs that you probably have already worked through, but I'm sure there are other ones there that are still keeping a ceiling on your beliefs about money. It's keeping a ceiling on how much money comes in, and some of your beliefs are actually repelling or resisting money. I'm sure you guys know that, right? So let's talk. We're going to be talking about specifically which ones are common and which ones are yours. Okay. Then I'm going to, we're going to go through some clearing techniques. I use a couple of different clearing techniques. Number one, I use journaling as a clearing technique, and I use tapping. All right. Journaling and tapping can pretty much take care of 90%, maybe 95% of the negative energy you have in any given day about anything. But we're going to be focusing on how to use that with money. Has anybody ever heard of tapping before?
Yes. Yes.
I know you have. Okay. Just, put in the chat if you've heard of tapping, and or if you haven't, so I just know what your background is with it, okay? And I'll take a look at that in a minute. I want to help you guys stay in love, all right? Stay in love. Stay in gratitude. We hear all the time how important gratitude is, and what? We forget. We forget. Sometimes we don't think we have anything to be grateful for, but that is so not true, right? Then we're going to open to opportunities and take some action. You have got, everybody is here, I am assuming, have some way to make money, whether it's a craft, your job, a business of some kind, investments. All of you come to the table here with some way to make money, to generate income. All right. And the thing is that sometimes we don't see the opportunities that are all around us. We're going to also be talking about opportunities and about taking action on money-making activities. And I want you to take money-making activity. I want you to taking action on money-making activities in the attitude of joy and freedom and adventure, rather than there's none around here, I don't know, maybe it's not going to work. So we're going to talk about the difference of the kind of attitude you can have, the energy in when you approach your actions. All right. And then of course we're going to celebrate together. I want to see your results. I want to see you guys getting more money coming in. Like, bottom line, right? But I have to tell you this, and I want you to remember this. The amount of money coming in, more money coming in, will not heal your money wounds. It will not. Your money wounds do not get healed by how much money comes in. In fact, healing your money wounds first helps more money come in. Okay? All right. Let me come back to... No, I still have a couple more things I want to say. All right, now your part, all right? This is your part. I want you to show up, obviously, show up. Come to the classes, be here, participate. Risk being vulnerable. There's so much guilt and shame and condemnation and inadequacy all around money. And that's why people don't like talking about it. They're afraid of judgment. They're afraid of people going to think certain things about them. And a lot of people just don't get better about money because they don't like risking being vulnerable in front of anybody. And you know, truth is, there's a lot of people out there that will use that information against you. I want this to be a safe zone. I want everybody here to feel safe and to feel that it's okay to be vulnerable, to share how you feel, because whatever negativity you're feeling, you're not going to stay that place. All right? We're not going to let you stay there. Journal your feelings. I would get an abundance journal. All right? A notebook, anything. Whenever you start to think about money, I want you to start writing down what your feelings are about money, what your thoughts are about money, okay? And that's really the way that you're going to shift it. Oh, I forgot one. Commit to challenging your beliefs, the beliefs that aren't serving you. You have beliefs right now that are not serving you and are resisting money. Everybody does, okay? I don't care how much work you've done on this. Everybody does. We always, it doesn't, millionaires still have to continue. Those people that are in the personal growth industry too, you know, especially them, they continue working on their money story. Track abundance daily. Does everybody have their, if you don't have, this is the abundance tracker. Oh, maybe you can't see me. Can you see this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Track your abundance. This is your abundance tracker. And I just started for day one. Money came in today. Yay!
Yay.
Yay! Okay, everybody say yay!
Yay.
Yay.
All right. And so, and participate in the Facebook group. I am going to really try to post in there frequently so I can help you guys stay elevated, throwing ideas out there. Okay. Let me look at the chat here. Oh, thank you, Lisa. She says that she knows tapping thanks to me. Yeah. And Stephen, raising the vibration. Yes. Stephen is already taking, I don't know if you've taken the course with Nick and Jessica Ortner, but they're big. They were the first book I read on tapping, you know, many years ago. And they're still like, they're like top-notch gurus. Nellie, tapping. Oh, she knows tapping. What is BTR? Oh, that was from the Belief to Results. Belief to Results is my own system that I created to help people identify the exact beliefs that are causing the blockages. Okay?
Thank you.
Sure. Barbara has heard and tapped for several years. Awesome. Okay.
Well, but I can't type to you.
What's that?
I'm sorry. This is Charlotte. I'm sorry. I can't type to you, so I'll just
Okay.
have to say
That's okay, Charlotte. You can tell me. Have you ever heard of
Gary
tapping,
Craig.
Charlotte?
Gary Craig is who I've used.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, he's one of the originals too.
Yes, he is.
Yes. Tapping is just so effective. And when you tap regarding money, your negative emotions about money, and you do it regularly, it keeps you elevated, doesn't it? Yep.
Yes.
All right, so that's what we want to work on too. And next week, we're going to actually tap together. All right?
Okay.
We'll be tapping together. Let's see what else I got here for you. Okay, let's check your pulse. I would like everybody to answer this question in the chat, please. When you think about money, what comes to mind? When you look at the bills on your table or in your basket or sitting on your desk, what comes to mind? All right? And then how does that make you feel? Chat, put that in the chat, please.
Just a little drummer.
I know, right?
No, I'm watching this. This is my friend.
Aha.
Wait a minute. This is
Now we know.
please. Jerry. Oh, you're so cute. I love you.
It must be Steven and his kids.
Mm-hmm.
Hi there. I got it. You're so cute.
Okay. Steven, can you write down, I saw your emotions, stressed. Great. Can you tell me what the thoughts are what you think about? Lord have mercy. Oh my. I hope you guys don't mind if I read these answers. You can all read them yourself, but I want to say them out loud because Nellie says it all depends on my bank balance. Isn't that the truth? Anxiety. Anxiety, sometimes poverty mentality, even though I know it's not true by any means, but also it also manages to show up. But sometimes stressful getting it here. It's a way to live I think the life you want. It's
typo.
okay, it's there or it isn't. I adjust to it being there. What does that mean, Carrie?
I guess I just plan for it being there, but I'd make adjustments if I need to, if it's not. Maybe.
Okay. So what's the feeling you have when you think about money, and what's the feeling you have?
I try not to feel much. It's just I have
You
other
try to
things.
just kind of go on autopilot, do what you got to do?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. Okay. All right. So the next thing I want to ask you is this. Would you all just type in here, like, why are you here today? Why are you doing this? Money loves me. And I want to even know what you think about the phrase money loves me.
Well, if I don't love me, money can't love me.
Okay. Good, Charlotte. You're drawing connection between yourself and how you feel about yourself, and then how you feel about money. That's good. Okay. Well, that's awesome, Stephen. I'm going to point that out in a minute. By the way, as you can tell, this is going to be quite an interactive and even informal, but not, I really want people to tackle some of this inner work, because it's the only way it's going to get anything done, right? Okay.
Sometimes you have to feel grateful that you have the bills, because that means you obviously have had the money to incur them.
That's true. And those bills represent something, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Services that you get to take advantage of. Okay. Yeah, so everybody just type in here. I don't see it if everybody's here, but why you're here. Okay. So Nellie says, I'm here to eliminate lack of money fears. Awesome. I want that for you too. I feel like I've done so much work on myself, Lisa, and have freedom in many areas, but this is the thing keeping me, I feel, from ultimately figuring out my purpose. Excellent connection. Or it's a roadblock belief in some way. I'm exhausted by money and I need to find a way to free myself from that. I am committed to that happening for you, Lisa.
Thank you.
Stevens, I'm 100% laser focused on alleviating this myriad false beliefs governing my financial state as present. And you know, one of the things that Stephen said earlier, and I thought this is something we'll address more later, but it's an excellent observation. I have non-supportive beliefs around money that include money is not the root of evil. All evil. Money is the reason for the environmental destruction on the planet. Money and greed are the roots of the wars. Money is not righteous, etc. Okay? And what you're basically saying that anything surrounding money is bad, right, Stephen? Take him off of mute if you can.
Marianne, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yep.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's absolutely my belief there, you know, that it is the root of the evil and the problems. And so, of course, I don't want to be associated with bad things. So I'm like basically sabotaging, right? And I know that's my baby boy. You know what I mean? It's a subconscious belief that's sabotaging my conscious desires, basically.
Right. So, Stephen has got a big purpose. He's got big dreams and big visions. I know Stephen personally, and they're altruistic. They're things that are there to, he wants to, you know, really raise the vibration of the world, but also he's got global reforestation. I don't know if Stephen, is that still your passion of wanting to, you know, environmentally help the world? And a lot of that requires money. But if you feel that money is evil in some way and causes problems for people, then you're not going to call it forth. You will sabotage because you've got a mixed message going on, right? So you have to be careful. I want you guys to start aware of when you start to have mixed feelings. Like, I need money for this. I want money for this. Money would be a good thing for this reason, but I feel this way about it. I think this about it, and it's negative. So those two, that positive thinking and that negative thinking can clash. That's called double-mindedness. And what double-mindedness does is it makes you confused, overwhelmed, you stall, it paralyzes you. It doesn't help make forward motions. So we want to be single-minded and clear up as much double-minded as possible about money. Okay. And, you know, I think, Stephen, you already know the answer to those questions that you have about money. Is money really evil? I think you know the answer to that. But how do you shift those beliefs in order for you to stay at that level is what we want to work on, right?
Yeah, absolutely, Marianne. I mean, it makes complete sense what you're saying. So that's why I'm really excited working with you. Let's get this resolved.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see, Carrie. I want to feel that money's attracted to me and I don't need to worry about it being there. Money loves me, is always looking for me. All right, Carrie, talk a little bit more about that.
Let's see.
I want to feel that money is attracted to me. What does that mean to you?
I guess it goes along with you asked what I think about money loving you, because if money loves you, it's being attracted to you and is always going to be there. And it's just going to come effortlessly because you're taking like daily action towards whatever your goals are, either financial or whatever, and then it's just going to be there because you're taking the right steps to do it, and you don't have to stress about it.
That's right. It's good. And, you know, really, money loves me is really a perspective. Like sometimes we say the universe has got our back. Well, the universe is kind of, it's not a human, right? Money's not a human. God is a human, or not human. God is a personality, but money is kind of inanimate. So it's really reflecting this positive idea that you and money, you've got a good thing going. You know, I want you to think about it. You and money, you got a good thing going. Money's not going to hurt you. Money's not going to hurt you. And you're not going to become somebody you already aren't. Money just makes you more of who you already are. If you're a good person, you'll be a better person. You'll be an expression of a good person in a bigger way with money. That's what I mean to say, right? Money isn't going to hurt you.
Right.
But money isn't going to solve all your problems either. All right. So there is a perspective we need to have. So some of you, just to get back to the Money Loves Me story, when God woke me up, and this is the track I'm going to start to follow with you guys. When God woke me up in the morning and said to me, get back to love. The reason he did that, I didn't know at the moment, but the reason he did that was because I had gotten into fear. Remember I told you there's only fear and there's only love. There's only those two things. So because I was in fear, how was I going to do this? I got to do this all on my own. How many of you feel like it's all up to you?
Yes.
I do.
Okay? Yes. It's all up to you. And if you're not going to do it, who's going to do it? All right?
Nobody.
I really want to address that right off the bat. That feeling that it's all up to you and you're going to do it all on your own, you got to do it all on your own, is exhausting.
Yes.
And it creates a sense of aloneness and loneliness. It makes you feel abandoned in the world. It makes you feel like you can't even enjoy any part of life, because if you do, you should be making money instead of enjoying life. So it affects the quality of your life, all right? That is why I promote God. That is why I promote God, because I believe God is the source of abundance. He's the source. He's the one that makes the opportunities open up to me. God and I have now become partners. We are partners. He is the source. My job is to clear away, with his help also, all the negativity that gets in the way of that source, that money coming to me, that abundance coming to me. It's just being blocked. There's just a barrier here all around us. And there's a barrier that resists the money to coming to me. So my job is to align myself with him. The more I align my thoughts with an abundant God, the more I'm able to allow money to come in freely. All right? So I have to create a dependence and an awareness of God's involvement in my life. And so I want to help you to do that too. I want to help you not feel alone, that this isn't all up to you. And quite frankly, as powerful as you guys are, you're not enough. I'm going to say that right now. We go around talking about how we're enough, but you're not enough to create the kind of wealth you want to create. But God with you is more than enough. Does that make sense? God with you is more than enough. Right?
Amen.
Thank you. Give me just a second. All right, somebody tell me why you think feeling good about money is important. All right? I've mentioned some of the things already. Tell me why you think feeling good. Why is it important? Why would I stress this about feeling good about money? Nicole, is your hand raised? Is that a little hand raised, Nicole?
Sorry.
I like that. I didn't realize, yes, there's a little button that you can raise your hand if you want to. But Nicole, how would you answer that question? Why do you think feeling good about money is important?
Well, because if you're not feeling good about it, you won't attract money. And when you have an opportunity to receive it, you probably reject the opportunity because it may go against some belief system that you have.
Excellent point. Excellent point. Say that one more time.
Well, feeling good about money is important because if you don't feel good about money, first of all, you're not open to receive it. So even when God is trying to get money to us, or to, I'll say me, I bypass it or don't do what is necessary to receive it, and I won't feel good about it.
Right. Anybody else? That's great. Anybody else? Why else should we feel good about money?
Money is just a form of exchange. It's a piece of paper or a hunk of metal in our hand. There's nothing about money to to love or not to love, but it's what money can do for us that is what's exciting.
Okay. Now, that is true. And I think that's the basis. Like you're almost describing, though, the beginning of the love-hate relationship about money, you know, because we love what money can do for us. Money in many ways obviously gets us things. It also can buy us freedom and help us fulfill our purpose. There's all kinds of things that money can do for us, right? But sometimes what we hate about money is the stress we feel. So how can we feel good about money? Does anybody have any idea how we can feel good about money and not feel stressed?
Well, one of the ways that I think about is that that when I have the money and I'm writing my checks and I'm paying them, I say thank you.
Good. Very good. All right. I mean, we're going to be talking about lots of tips, and that's a great tip to feel grateful as you write tips rather than what are some ways that people approach paying bills?
Dread.
That is not that great gratitude.
They put it off. They avoid it. They don't want to do it.
Good. They avoid it. They put
let
it
them
off.
pile up.
It piles up. And then when they write it, how many times are they like, oh, you know, there's this negative feeling like you're writing this check. Why do I have to pay this? Oh, this is such a high bill. Holy smokes. Like, oh my gosh, they keep increasing this amount on us. I wish I didn't need this. Think of all the talk. The little chatter that goes on. Is that making you feel good about money?
No.
No. Charlotte gave a great suggestion. When you write a check, say thank you. Thank you. Another little thing that we've been doing lately is, you know, Jean was not able to work hardly at all.
Lights have been on all this time.
What's that? I'm sorry. So Jean was not able to work hardly at all last year. And this year, he's recuperating from immunotherapy treatments, the treatments, and he's had a lot of issues. But while he's going through all this, he is working on his money beliefs in a bigger way. Of course, he's got me, and I don't let him off the hook, of course, you know, poor guy. But he's doing it. He is tackling his money beliefs. And he's 74 years old. So let me tell you, those beliefs can get really, really embedded, right? They aren't the easiest thing to change, and they require some focus and some determination. But what he's doing is he's tackling this. Well, and he's been tracking. And since we've been tracking, he invoiced 3 times as much this month, the month of April. He invoiced 3 times as much as usual. And where do those cases come from? You know, he's not promoting, he's not marketing. Somehow or another, and this is what we believe, that God is putting him in the minds of former clients. Former clients are calling him out of the blue and asking them, and he can't drive. Remember, Jean doesn't get to drive till May 6th because of the seizures. He's tired a lot, so he needs to be able to do work that he can just do on his computer. He can't go out on appointments and interviews. So all the work he's getting, 3 times the amount that he has in a long time, all the work he can do in his current health condition, not being able to drive. And it's just, so what we're doing is we're taking those invoices that he has sent out, and I'm posting it on the wall for him, and I'm putting hearts around the money amount. Oh, wait, I'll just show you one, okay? Okay, off the wall. This is an example. This is his invoice, okay? And we put little hearts around the dollar amount. So when he walks into his office, because he's one of those avoiders, he's one of those ones that doesn't like to look at the bills. He even forgets to bill his clients. That's how much he likes avoiding money issues, all right? This is why I've been doing it our whole 30-something years of marriage, right? So, but he wants to be different. He does. He wants to be different. He's feeling enabled and empowered in a lot of ways to be different. And so to help him have a better appreciation and feel better about money, we've got goals with his money, and we're putting his invoices up on the wall so that he can see dollar amounts in hearts put around it. All right, and this is a guy. And I thought to myself, that doesn't really work for him because, girls are the ones that like the hearts and stuff like that, right? Well, guess what? When I was telling him about the hearts, as soon as I told him about the hearts around the dollar amount, he stood there and I saw a smile go. And I thought, he doesn't want to admit it, but it works. An immediate smile came upon his face. So if you have invoices, if people, you expect money coming in and it hasn't come in, put it up on a wall, put hearts around it, put something positive around it so that your brain's making different associations, okay? Simple little thing. It's just a little thing. Yes. Is it you, Lisa?
Are you putting the hearts around the invoices as you send them to your clients too?
No.
Well, I'm just thinking that might be a positive for them.
It might be. That's a good idea. Maybe I'll talk to him about that, Yeah. They're most of them are attorneys. That might be interesting.
That's okay. They're human.
Exactly. And my husband, he's Mr. Macho Man, former FBI policeman, all of that stuff. So he appreciated the heart around the dollar amount.
Yeah, good.
Do it. Okay, good. All right, so the other thing I just wanted to reinforce, you hear this all the time, abundance is everywhere. I want you right now to check that in yourself. Do you really believe that? You believe that?
It is.
Don't,
It is.
and not like what you think it should be, but really, do you really believe that? And do you believe it's available to you?
I want to.
Okay.
Depends on the day.
All right. All right, right now, I just want you to write down today, and we'll do it, take it day by day. Today, I choose to believe that abundance is everywhere. Today, I choose to believe that abundance is everywhere, and it's available to me. This week, I want you to check within and maybe write about and answer this question. I don't want you to answer it right now, but I want you to think about it this week and then post about this in Facebook. And the question is, what do I think I need to do or to be in order for abundance to be available to me? Okay? Write that down. What do I think I need to do or be in order for abundance to be available to me? In other words, is there some condition in your mind? And then post that in the Facebook group, okay? And then we're going to talk about that. Okay, because it's almost an hour's up, guys. Wow. All right. Here is, let me get rid of this a minute. Here's a passage. These are passages, and they actually come in, and if you just, I'll put this in the Facebook group. This is why I believe, one of the reasons why I believe that you are created for abundance, and why God is on your side about abundance, which is part of the reason why we want to look to Him for abundance. Jesus said, I have come that you would have life, and life, it should be more abundantly. All right? These are just a few passages. In Deuteronomy 8:18, it says, it is I who have given you the power to produce wealth. In Psalm 35, I think it is, the Lord takes pleasure in the prosperity of his people. Okay? In Proverbs 10:22, the blessing of the Lord makes a man rich, and he adds no sorrow to it. Okay, so let's just take a few minutes to talk about this. Okay? Does anybody have any reactions to any of these?
You missed one,
What is that?
and a very important one. It's in the Our Father that says, in other words, I've forgotten it right now, but as it is in heaven, so shall
Right.
it be on earth.
Yes,
That's the key. And God wants us to have what's his heavenly.
that's right. That's right. There are actually, we could make probably pages of these passages. You know, there are so many passages, but many people actually have the opinion. In fact, I was just really working with somebody this weekend who we uncovered has the belief that God is out to get her. Like God is somehow sticking his leg out when she walks by to trip her. Or there's a lot of people who actually don't want to use the word God or won't want to think about God in the terms of God, because God brings up too much negativity, brings up guilt, shame. There's a lot of people who do not feel like God likes them. There's a lot of people who feel like they're unworthy for God's love and attention. There's a lot of people who have a lot of issues with God. Okay? I know I did. That's why I was an atheist for a long time. But if we can start to really sink in deep, let's not just have these passages, these ideas bounce off our head and then we go on our merry way. I would take them and I would grapple them. All right? Where the one that says the Lord takes pleasure in the prosperity of his people. I would even take that one and I would write and journal to God and say, what do you mean about this? I don't get it. You know? Or maybe you say, I understand completely, thank you. And you spend some time just really basking and meditating on that. But let these things go to a deeper level wherever you are now. Let them go to a deeper level so that you feel that God is on your side about your abundance. That will help you to not feel so alone. It will help you to not feel like you're pulling this train up a hill by yourself. Okay? Any comments about that?
Are you going to post those on the Facebook?
Yeah, I'll put them up there, and I'll even have the verse numbers if some people like that.
Thank you.
Sure.
Marianne, the Bible talks more about money and wealth than any other subject.
Yes, it
Yes,
does.
it does.
It does.
And I'm just at the right place to really expand my abundance. I feel like, oh, finally, I'm back to where I was many, many years ago. Yes, it's time.
Well, we celebrate that with you, Nellie.
Thank you. Thank you.
Celebrate that with you. You know, when I worked for Cigna as a financial planner and then in corporate, you know, the whole emphasis was on helping people achieve their financial goals, you know, and it was according to the world system. You know, there was no mention of God. God was not involved in that. God had no place with money. And I believed that for a long time, but I started to notice that things were not right. Things were not right. And I had been a believer just about a year or two at that point. Well, I started taking a course called Christian Financial Concepts, and it was all about, and we explored, like they said, 600 passages in the Bible about money. That's a lot. You know, God has something to say about that. And money we're supposed to have money, but we're not supposed to make money our God, right? Money will not solve all our problems like we think it will. Only God does that. So when we treat money as the answer to all of our dreams, the answer and the fulfillment of every need, want, and desire, then it's taken the place of God. Money is an expression of our value. It's an expression of our love, of love coming to us. But money is not, it does not define you, and it does not define your value. It does not, it doesn't define your worth, all right? So we have to keep it in a proper perspective. And for me, keeping it in a proper perspective is I'm aligned with God when I know that He is the creator of abundance, He's the source of abundance, and He has made it all available to me. My job is to receive it. That's it. Our job is to receive money. Our job is to receive strategies of how to make it, how to bring it in, how to magnetize it. And I'm going to go over some of those stories with you about how that happens, all right? But I firmly believe that when we stay open to God and we stay open to His provision, we are open to love, we are open to abundance. And all we really got to do is actually get rid of the false beliefs. Once you get rid of false beliefs, the more of false beliefs you get rid of, the more you allow more money coming in and more abundance coming in. It's really that simple.
Yay.
Yep, it's really that simple. Okay, that's why we're going to talk a lot about money beliefs and all of that, and use clearing techniques to get your energy level around money to be elevated. Okay, so God created free abundance. Okay, one other thing I want you to do before we go is that I want to make sure that everybody gets, I want to talk to you a little bit about tracking. Some of you have already been tracking. How many of you have already been tracking your abundance in the free group? Lisa, can you tell me what your experience has been with that?
Sometimes I forget to do it.
Okay, honest. That's honest.
Yeah, like there's a lot of blank spaces of days, but then when I'll find something like on Saturday, I brought flowers home from my story event, and I was like, oh, you know, I have these flowers, and if someone sent me flowers, they would have been worth $150 because there's 2 containers. You can see one. You see one behind me there on the thing. Mm-hmm. And so it's like it's kind of this little pop of happy when you think about it that way.
Oh, I like that.
And also because you make us sort of figure out what the celebration is.
Yes.
So there's like this little pop of happy, like, oh, you know, like one of my students brought me a bottle of water one day, and I had offered to pay for it, but she just gave it to me, and it was just like this little gesture of happiness, I think. Yeah.
Yes, I love that, and you know, it could be $2.66. I always use that because that's the day I opened up that check in the mail, and it was $2.66 dollar check, and I said, "Money loves me." I mean, you know, only $2.66.
Yeah, even when I wrote out my check last month, I mean, this month I'm trying to figure out where, because some of my money is up in LA and I haven't been able to get it this week. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm paying my rent today. But even when I wrote my check last month, I realized that my landlords have me at probably about $400 under market value right now. So I looked at that as found money, as a gift.
Absolutely. Those little things, and $400 is not a little thing.
Oh no, that's huge. I'd be homeless.
But don't you think that it's very easy for us to forget those little pieces of abundance that come our way? Mm-hmm. Okay, we get busy. We think it's not a big deal. We throw a check in sometimes, I'll be honest, if my husband got paid for, what he gets paid for his work is different than what I get paid. I get paid a whole lot more than he gets paid. And so when he got paid a check, I just kind of stick it in the basket. And then maybe I deposit it a week or something like that later, I didn't celebrate it. In fact, I thought, oh, that's a small check, you know? Sorry, I did. When you track and you write down every little thing, you are amazed at how much abundance is all around you. That's the point of tracking it. Now, let's say no money comes in that day. Then write down something in the blank space and then maybe put priceless, you know? But keep track. I want you to put something down every single day that is a blessing of some kind, financial provision of some kind, a free gift, a discount you received, like Craig was talking about, he got free appetizer. They played golf after 3 o'clock in the afternoon, not realizing that by doing that his son could golf for free, you know? There's lots of little things that we do in life that we get freebies on, and we just discount them. So don't discount anything. Everything, track it all. Celebrate it all. And you have to celebrate. You have to take a moment to acknowledge it. When I got some money coming in today, I got up, my celebration, I did a little dance. I thank God, I did a little dance, I did a few woo-hoos, you know? But take a moment to appreciate, and that increases your abundance. It works. It works. All right, everybody going to commit to that for the week or for the month?
Yes.
All right. Sure. Write
Mary Ann,
down. Yes.
Will do.
Could you make the abundance tracker in a little darker font? It doesn't print out dark enough for me to see the I mean, it's very grayscale on the headings.
Okay.
And I want to, blessing, I want that to be, I want to see that word.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, I can do that. All right. So everybody committed, please put in the chat if you're committed to tracking for 30 days, please.
Will do.
And I heard your verbal, Charlotte.
Thank you.
Now, one of the things I want you guys to remember is that the morning that I woke up, when I heard God say, get back to love, the first thing he had me do was to write down, because I had totally lost perspective. I was so focused on lack. I was so focused on what we didn't have rather than all the good that was going on. And all the good that was going on, there was good going on, I minimized it. All right, so I had lost focus of abundance, and all I was focused in on was what we didn't have, what we weren't going to have, what there wasn't there for us. So shifting me back to get me back to love, how did God get me to do that? That's always a question. Well, how do you get back to love? And the thing that happened was I sat down in my morning chair, I started journaling, and I didn't think of this. This just happened. All the times provision had come in for me. All the miracles, starting way back when I was a baby. I was supposed to die when I was a baby. I started back there with the miracle of me getting healed of that disease I had, all right? And once I started reliving a lot of these positive things, these provisions, the miracles that God had done in our life, my heart started to expand. My emotional level started to raise and get more positive, okay? So that was the first thing that started to get me out of the state of fear and into the state of love, was my just tapping into my memories. So I would recommend you do that. Take some time this week to tap into and remember all the times that good things have happened to you. Money's coming in when you didn't think it was coming in. A lot of times money comes in for us at the last minute, or maybe more than we think. We think it's a fluke and we think it's never going to happen again. This is how we're always supposed to live our life, and that trust that it's there. We just have to step into it. All right? It's already there. The second thing that God had me do is release resentment. I had gotten very resentful about a lot of things. And so I saw that I was resentful toward my husband for not bringing in more money over the past couple years. I was resentful that I was the one that had to be doing this. I was resentful that I was all alone in this. I was resentful because people didn't understand and didn't care. I mean, there was all kinds of things I was resentful about, where true or imagined. And I had to take all those things and I wrote them all down and I released the resentment. I forgave myself. I forgave God. I forgave my husband. I had an issue with some family members. I forgave them. And it doesn't even have to be about money. If you have resentment toward anybody or anything, it will resist your abundance. Okay? So number one, take stock, take inventory, and write down the things that have been positive for you, that have worked for you when it's come in. Number two, be honest and courageous about what you feel resentment about, and then release it. Forgive yourself, forgive God, forgive anybody who needs to be forgiven, so that money can flow to you more easily without that resistance. Those are two biggies right there. Now, my whole attitude shifted within a couple hours. I felt open, elevated, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, but my bank account did not change one iota. All right? There was no more money in my account before that, after that, than before that, until the later that day. Then gifts came in out of the blue. And by the end of the month, 1 month later, we had probably, between gifts, new contracts, just unexpected stuff, unclaimed funds, you name it, about $25,000 came in that month.
Beautiful.
But it started with the joy and the love first, right? And you can't fake it. So get into joy, get into love, the ways I just told you. All right, next week we're going to cover some common money blockers, all right? And let's see which ones are your favorites. We all have favorite money blockers, all right? So we'll come and deal with those. We're going to do some tapping together, and then I want to hear how your tracking experience has gone, okay? Anybody have anything more that they want to add here? Are we on the right track? Is this helpful?
Thank you.
Can you all just, thank you, you're welcome. Would you all just write one takeaway from today in the chat? Just a takeaway.
Renewed commitment.
Okay, Charlotte, renewed commitment. Mm-hmm. You're all very brave, and I really am grateful for you. It's good. Okay, we've got gold. Grateful to have support family. God's blessings. Facing it will be the first step. Focus, paying attention to the abundance that's coming in, and more will follow. Awesome. Okay, everybody. Let me just say a prayer for you, okay? Then you can be on your way and meet in the group again. So, dear God, I just thank you for every person today. I thank you that you have brought them because you have good intended for them. You have abundance intended for them because you are a good giver and you have already given them everything pertaining to life and godliness. And it's all there for us. Help us to see ways in which we can just open the flow to what is already there. How we can soothe ourselves and learn what it is that's actually in the way. What is standing in the way of the abundance that you have available to us? And give us tools and strategies to remove those blockages and just increase the flow. So I thank you for them. I pray for increased abundance this week, that they can come back next week and have things to share and surprises and delights. And I just ask you to delight their hearts, open their hearts, delight their hearts, and then show them how loved, how valuable, how worthy they are. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. We'll put this video up if you want to look so you can see the slides again if you want to. Any questions, ask in the group too, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, Marianne.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.